And welcome to EV Marketplace. It's 6:30 on a Wednesday night and we're live, and it's our very own used EV Marketplace show where we talk to you about used EVs and only used EVs. And I'm Roscoe. Welcome. And if you're watching on YouTube or catch up or Facebook later on, thanks for joining us now. Look, it's all about used EVs, the buying, the selling, the ownership, the accessories, the maintenance, and of course, the pure love of used EVs as well. And tonight's guest epitomizes to me that last thing more than anything else. We're talking to Stan from Kangaroo Island. And we recently helped Stan sell his used Polestar. And look, it was a big decision. He was really attached to that car. But we helped him through that process. And look, he's bought something else, which you might have seen on YouTube already. We've got Stan joining us later on and can't wait to chat to him about what he did, why he did it, Kangaroo Island, why he lives there, and his life and experience and absolute joy of owning and driving and loving an EV. And if you didn't think you could love an EV as much as you could your old ICE car, after you've seen this, you might think again. But we're going to run a thread through tonight's show about the Polestar 2. That's what we help Stan sell. We're going to run a thread of Polestar 2 throughout the entire show, starting off with a couple of listings that we've got for the cars of the week. And we've just got these fantastic cars in Polestar 2s, of course, representing great value now. The first one we've got tonight is from Queensland, a Polestar 2, which, well, this is a gorgeous colour, absolutely beautiful. I love this car. I've seen one in the flesh, I've driven one, and this is, of course, a first edition one. You can tell by a second edition one, you can tell by the grille where they smoothed it over. This one's got the beautiful diamond cut wheels, lovely car. And this one's for sale at a really very reasonable 35,000 based in Queensland. It's got the rear wheel drive, which on the later models, it's only done 14,000 Ks. This one's a little bit different because it's listed on WOVI, which is the written off vehicles incident report listing. It's had some damage. We're happy to represent these cars if they've been repaired properly. And this car is absolutely perfect. I think this will make a great deal. You can check your car by going to a site like the link on AmazingEV, the vehicle history check. You can find out the history of the damage, the insurance, if it's an insurance write-off, if there's any money owing for a very small fee. We don't have an affiliation with this service, but this one's worked out really well for us. We like it. And look, that's the first of our used EVs of this week. The second one is another Polestar, which we had list again from Queensland just more recently as well over the weekend. This one's a long range, again, single motor, fantastic looking car. I love those diamond cut wheels. This is a fantastic car. I love Polestar. Again, this is Mark 1. You can tell by the grille. It's got that original grille. And yeah, look, the Polestar 1 holds a bit of a place in my heart. It was the very first EV I ever drove. And so, yeah, look, it felt right to me. It felt nice inside. We made the decision to go with the Tesla, of course, but look, it just felt like coming out of a Tiguan. This felt like a really nice car and a comfortable car. Stan's loved driving his, but for him, it was time to say goodbye. He had to say goodbye, and we're going to find out a bit later and let him tell his story as to why and what he's bought next. Some of you might have seen on YouTube already, but the story behind why he decided to go for something else after just absolutely loving the Polestar, well, I can't wait to hear that. But let's have a look at Stan's Polestar because, again, we'll hear the story about how we promoted it. But these listings are just the start if you're hoping to sell. We got some great photos from Stan, some of his trips around Australia, beautiful photos. And this looks more like a tourist destination guide than a car listing, but it shows the car doing what it does best. And that tour around Australia, we'll get some stories from him a bit later on. We got a deal through a family member on this one. Again, attracted a lot of interest, got some competitive pricing. We had it on Facebook. We had it on AmazingEV. This is an incredible car, almost brand new. He's kept it absolutely pristine. It is a great car. And look, why would you even sell it? Why would you get rid of it? Well, we'll find out a bit later on because we'll be talking to Stan in just a few moments. But now it's time for breaking EV news. And this week, we're sticking with the Polestar theme. And again, we're reporting on Polestar news release that came out earlier this week. Again, on the report on the sales for Polestar, the new car sales. Now, why, as a used EV site, are we looking at the Polestar new car sales figures? Well, it's really important that a company like Polestar continues and does well and prospers. That will make sure that anyone buying a used EV gets their warranty, gets their spare parts, gets the longevity, and we know it's backed by Geely. We know that the car has got strong ownership, but they've had a rocky road in the last couple of years. We want to make sure that they continue to do well, and you can tell by the sales figures here. Top line, retail sales volume, month on month, 27% increase. This is global sales for Polestar. Retail sales volumes year on year up 34%. Again, great numbers, great increase. Not huge numbers when you compare it to a company like Tesla, who's doing well over 1 million cars a year. They've got a long way to go, but it's just good to see them on the upward path with the new models coming through. This is a picture of Scott Maynard, and he slipped a comment in from the Australian perspective. Again, we want to see them do well here, and they were one of the first 3 to be in Australia. There was Atto 3, there was Polestar 2, there was Model Y 3, Model Y. Scott's taken over from the previous MD here, and he says significant sales growth was just the start of the story. I don't know what the rest of the story is, because it's still all about sales, and it's a mixed bag, unfortunately, despite their improvements. They have done that, and we got the data from Car Expert, and they broke it down, the VFAX numbers for new car sales, and Polestar 2 is sort of going down. Polestar 4 is on the way up and has pretty much replaced the sales from Polestar 2. They haven't grown big time, but they've bounced back a bit with the launch of the Polestar 4. Look forward to seeing those cars on the used car market coming soon. Polestar 3 hasn't done that well, but again, a really premium product. So a bit of a mixed bag. And then, unfortunately, the Polestar news is not all good, because, again, they slipped this one out on the 31st of December, maybe for Boxing Day sales or New Year's Eve sales, but they waxed some fairly considerable pricing discounts onto some of the existing cars, the 2s and the 4s. Despite some good sales figures for the 4s in Australia, this is tough to bear, because we don't know what's going to happen with the used cars yet, and that's our focus. But we are looking at other brands who've done this, and it has tended to have a little bit of an impact on used car sales. So we just hope that Polestar get back on track. They really need a replacement, probably for the Model 2, or a significant upgrade, and I hope they're heading in that direction. They've got a good suite. We love the product, and again, it's something that we really felt needs to have a place here in Australia and needs to continue to survive. So that is breaking news. And another new segment that we're just starting tonight, which will kick off monthly, is used EV sales. Hey, we're going to take a look at the used EV sales every month. This data came out just recently for December. That's the end of the December month for 2025. We'll have a full year report coming out in a couple of weeks' time. We will probably go into this a bit deeper, but this starts to be an introduction to some of the used car sales figures in Australia. All the news is about new cars, but we're going to go deep on the used car side of things. Here's the whole used car market for Australia, just to give you a snapshot. Put it in a box to start off with. We'll get to used EVs, but picture this for a start. Just for December, 171,837 sales down the bottom, 308,000 listings. Add that up, multiply it by 12, and it was, as you can see from some of the numbers on the right-hand side, these were all down 10 or so % on average from November. So it was a bit of a down month in December. It helps us get an overall picture of the used EV market here in Australia by putting it in context of the bigger used car market. To put the whole thing in perspective with the new car market, it's double the new car market. It's incredible. This has got so much potential for us, and as you'll see, the used EV market is a very small proportion of that. We'll get to that shortly, but this just puts it in perspective that, again, if you added up 2 million odd cars end to end, That's all the way from Sydney to Perth and back again. And as you'll see in shortly, the used EV market is Sydney to Newcastle. So we had a long way to catch up, but this is a massive market. Average sale is well down on the new car, but a lot of the focus is on new cars. The used car market is an enormous beast here in Australia. If we dig deeper into the fuel types, and we'll look at these every month from now on, again, this is just December 2025, 1 month figures. Petrol's still the dominant, diesel, way too many still. Used cars, of course, we're looking at only, again, down 10 and 10%. EVs, as you can see, sales on the right-hand side, 2,405 sales compared to over 100,000 petrol sales. So probably around about a quarter of the new car sales, new EV sales for the month, but so much potential to grow so quickly. This is what we're so excited about. We're here right now, just at the infancy, and can't wait to see this kick on. It's going to be a brilliant market, and we're so excited to be here right at the start. This just shows you where we are at the moment, just at the infancy of this market. It's so much potential, and we cannot wait, because from here on, you can start to see a drill down into the EVs for sale only. On the left-hand side is what's for sale, and on the right-hand side are the sales. And you might ask, where can we get this data from? Well, AutoGrab, who we've been following, produced this data for the Australian Automobile Dealers Association every month, and have been doing this consistently across the used market. It's not just the EV market. So the data's out there. They've got a consistent methodology, and it may not cover everything, but by all means, it's a pretty comprehensive carve-out for EVs that we're lucky to have at the moment. The market, as you can see, again, slipped away, and this is December only for 2025, slipped away from November, and it was well down in terms of sales. So you can see with December leading up to Christmas, market might be as you expect, following the broader market. Nothing specific, nothing particular about EVs here. This followed the broader market down, and probably around about, on average, in some states, 27%, Queensland, WA, Victoria, New South Wales, not down quite as much. But again, this reflects probably some of the broader market on the used EV, on the used car front. We can dig down even more deeply thanks to AutoGrab and this data. Tesla Model 3, as you probably expect, the most popular model used car for sale. Tesla Model Y, up there as well. Atto 3, MG ZS. Surprising for a couple of them. Again, Nissan Leaf's right up there in the top 10 of used EVs. It's going to be around for a while, and not surprising. You still see them around, as we'll have a look into a bit later on. Polestar 2, there it is, 62, fairly consistent month in, month out. They're ticking away. That was out of a total of 2,405 sales. And probably what's surprising for me this month is how many private versus dealer. It's normally about 50-50, and it tends to have been that way. So start to wonder, just again, a couple of anomalies. I'm not averse to picking out some anomalies, and then a lot of you will notice at the bottom, number 10, Hyundai Ioniq 6. They barely sold new, let alone 40 and 46 selling on the used market. So I'd say, and let me know in the comments, thanks for joining us, Hal. Thanks for joining me, Stan. I'd say that they are probably selling used dealer demos there. Same perhaps with the BMW iX1 that's gone from 13 to 64. They might be just trying to shift some demo models into the year. We'll keep an eye on those sorts of things. Dealers will do what the dealers need to do to sell cars, whether they're new or used. But again, the other standout there is the Geely EX5. That, going from 8. These are used cars, remember. This car's only come out 8 months ago. And it's gone from 8 sold used to 41 sold in December. So might be a bit of just dealer demo registration there, just to clear a few models out before the end of the calendar year, just to get the numbers up. The top line looks about the same. We'll just keep that in mind. But again, now the final chart, again, we'll go into this in more detail next month. But for me, fascinating reading, because it's the left hand shows the depreciation. And we're going to talk more about depreciation. We're not shying away from it. It's a factor with EVs. We're going to look at it more closely. They know what to expect based on the years. They can see what the average is. They can see the movement ups and downs. In fact, if anything, the last month of 2024, the residual value has gone up slightly from the previous month. So it's all over the place with the new and immature market. It's going to be everywhere. So we're just waiting to see at the moment. We'll just track this along every month now. The right-hand chart's the one that really interests me. I got the feeling we had a really good August, September for AmazingEV. Good listings, good sales through, and then October started to just slow down a little bit. November, again, I thought, what sort of trend are we getting? And I hadn't looked closely at these numbers till we got the final December. You can see that this one's days to sell, which is the indicator of really supply and demand balance. If the days to sell keeps going up, clearly the prices are out of whack with what the buyers are prepared to pay across the entire market. This has gone up almost 14 days in 3 months. That's almost 2 weeks. At 40.7 in September, that was pretty much what the SUV market was across the board for all cars. So that's really got out of whack again. I hope, and we look forward to a recovery in January this year when we start to see the numbers through. But again, no conclusions yet. We'll wait and see. But that ends our first report on the sales up. And now my favourite part of the show is the inbox. And tonight, great email here from Wayne. Wayne listened to Polestar 2 with us only a week or so ago now, and there's auto emails go back out of the system when it lists, but I always send everybody an email. We take care to try and just look after everybody, find out where they're at, what their position is, how they're going, what they're doing, and what else we can do to help. And because if we can get the word out to list and sell faster, we'll do whatever we possibly can. So this is a lovely email to get back. I sent out, Wayne, many thanks for listing. It's real Roscoe here, not the automated email. And he sent back, thanks, Roscoe. I've shared it in a couple of places and we'll do some more today. We send the link out to the listing and encourage everybody to put that on their Facebook site, mix it amongst their network. It's going to be a case of you never know where you're going to find a buyer. It might be among your next network. It might be out there in the marketplace, but putting a static listing up is just the start. In this case, Wayne also sent through a video. Have a look up on the website. He's attached a video to the listing as well, which he talks his way through it. And we're happy to do that and help guide people because like a upscale real estate listing, anything you can get out there that just is moving and grooving with the car helps. And so these are the sorts of inbox messages I love to get. And then sitting on the fence a little bit is Chris Seven Jakarta. He commented, could you buy a 10-year-old tech laptop? Or would you buy a 10-year-old tech laptop? Technology evolved big time and battery degrades a lot. Why would I buy a 10-year-old electric car? Or who wants to buy my 10-year-old electric car? Well, that was in response to the chat we had with Nathan from Test EV last week. Go back and have a look at that one if you like. And I've got a summary of just the chat with Nathan there as well. All about testing EVs on older cars for battery integrity. But there's plenty of services like Graham up in Queensland, and we're going to have a chat to Graham in a month or so, who can change over batteries, replace batteries on older cars. And these just aren't about buying tech. As we've seen, these are often about passion projects as well. And I went quickly to the car sales and found over 54 listings for Nissan Leafs dating back 10 years now. There's plenty of people out there with interest, and there's plenty of cars out there for those interested. I know Ant's watching now. Thanks for joining us, Ant. He's a Nissan Leaf Facebook admin guy. If you want any more information, there's plenty out there. And then this message came through AmazingEV, our own website, on the contacts. And again, you can contact me at AmazingEV on the website, comment below in the messages, and or text me, email me. But this one came through on the message board through the website. I've seen a lot of Polestar 2 around Sydney and Melbourne with a number plate starting with SPL. What does that mean? And it's pretty common knowledge for many, but SPL is a Splend car. It's a finance company / car ownership scheme. That sounds dodgy. They're a genuine car leasing company, or full respect to Splend. Allow you to car share drivers and riders, different forms of ownership, leasing, renting, and they've got cars in their pool, and they've done a lot to promote EVs from the word go, as have Uber. As an Uber driver, I know that the EVs are coming up first for riders as a preference now. So they're all doing as much as they can, and they were big supporters of Polestar too when it first came out. In fact, they might have been major supporters of Polestar too. They might have bought a lot, all right? So we are going to see a lot of ex-Uber Polestars coming onto the market, but as we saw last week with Nathan, we had a look at the Pickles auction. There was one going through there, over 110,000 Ks, at battery at 94%. I don't think we're going to have too many issues, but that remains to be seen. But plenty of great cars out there and plenty of great Polestar 2s. SPL is a Splend number plate, and that's been financed or provided by the Splend company, probably a ride share driver in the front. Next up, we're going to have a small break. I'm going to let you scroll through the AmazingEV website, skim through some of the latest listings we've got there. Then after the break, I've got Stan from Kangaroo Island joining me. Can we do it?
Love my Polestar 2. It's a fantastic car. It's going to make someone very happy for a cheap price. I'm thinking about 40,000. I'd be happy with that, but who knows what I'll get. So it's going to be a challenge selling it on Kangaroo Island, but such is life. An overwhelming sense of sadness about saying goodbye to the car for some reason. It's just very emotional, but I mean, I couldn't have it forever anyway, and it's going to make someone very happy, isn't it, Twig? Car some love. I gave the car some love. No more thick buckets, but it looks nice and clean. Nice and clean. Gotta keep the Polestar nice and clean. Nice and clean.
Stan, how are you? Good to see you, and thanks for joining us. Where are you, Kangaroo Island?
Yes, I'm on Kangaroo, and I was just getting a bit emotional watching that video, Roscoe.
I know, that was fantastic. Look, hey, what was your first EV aha moment? What was the thing that took you to EV straight away?
So I remember back in about 2015 when I lived in the south coast of New South Wales, some Canberra Tesla owners came down. Those would have been Model S's, I guess. There wasn't anything else around back then. And so I got to sit in one. And it was kind of in the back of my head the whole time. I had a fishing boat, and so I needed a ute to tow it. And then for whatever reason, I just didn't, I kind of lost my fishing passion. So I sold the boat. And then another catalyst was the bushfires here in South Australia. And so I know there's lots of reasons to own EVs, but for me, a really big one is just the environment and the fact that we can't keep pumping out into the atmosphere and getting rid of fossil fuels. So anyway, with the bushfire, that kind of cemented it for me. And I was getting rid of the ute. And I remember getting my Amarok serviced at VW in Adelaide and saying, where's my electric ute? Where's my electric car? I'd buy one if you had one. And I had to wait, I guess, 2 or 3 years after that. And then Hertz has Polestars on the island. So I saw those driving around and basically fell in love with that and said, that's what I want. So,
yeah, I was going to say that. How did you get to drive the Polestar? Was that through Hertz, or did you end up driving one on the mainland as well?
To be 100% honest, I never actually drove one of the Hertz ones until I ordered it. Once I ordered it, I rented one and drove it around. But yeah, again, like with my current purchase, I just researched it a lot, and I waited for the rear-wheel drive one because I wanted that. That had the big range, so that was 615 kilometers, which was, I think, pretty much the most you could get back then. And it was always my idea to lap around Australia in it and to, just kind of have it on. I've always had a YouTube channel, but I wanted to pivot to that and put my experience out there, what it was like to own an EV and what it was like to drive around Australia as the 41st person to do it. And I mean, there's been a bunch more, but it was still something a bit unique and different to do. And it was absolutely fantastic. So
I know. Tell us about some of those trips. I think because this is a pretty magnificent challenge for a start and a pretty magnificent accomplishment, right?
Yeah, I did cheat a bit. I cut some corners, as you can see there, but
I'm not sure.
It was amazing. I have to give a shout out to the guys over in WA, Rob and Ant, because they really helped me a bunch. People that had done it before and knew where all the charging was, and so that's another great thing about the EV communities. There is a great community, and you can just ask. And they made it so much easier. The Polestar is a great car too because it's got inbuilt Google, and so it tells you exactly what you're going to be doing and what you'll get there with. So it made road tripping fairly easy. I put 60,000 Ks on it in 2 years, and I don't really drive for my day job is the Islander newspaper, so I drive about once a week. But so those 60,000 kilometres were all pretty much road trip. I did the lap. Most recently, I drove to the Pilbara where I was born. That was a real challenge because up the Great Northern Highway, there's no charging. So it was all campground. It took me 5 days to go roughly 2,000 Ks or something like that. So, it was basically drive 400 Ks a day and then sit for 12, 15 hours charging. I did. So I did the lap. I did Pilbara. went down to Tassie. I've been to 2 electric shows. I did win the trophy for coming the furthest distance.
Sydney and back again. So that was Sydney, wasn't it? That's where we met a few years ago.
So that's I did that 2 years in a row. I've been to the last 2 everything electrics from Kangaroo Island. So yeah, basically, I just love driving the car, and I just love driving around the country. And I mean, the charging is it's not that difficult. Like it's plentiful. You know, I've never really had any trouble. Granted, in the most more populated areas, like between
Yeah,
Melbourne and Brisbane, I guess, you know, then if there's a lot of people on the road, that does add challenges. But out in the rural areas, and especially in South Australia, we pretty much have the best charging network. So
yeah,
if you have a car that can do a 400 Ks, you know, it's easy basically. I think it's just a matter of doing it, getting out there, and having a go. And yeah, even if there's no charges, you can still do it anywhere there's a plug, basically.
yeah. There she is out in the wild. What were some of the big, apart from charging, what were some of the biggest challenges? Yeah,
Well, sleeping in the car
yeah.
a lot, you know, that's the Polestar drives really nicely, but it's a bit tight to sleep in, uh, especially with the dog. People that have followed me know that I
Yeah,
take my
is
dog
Twig
Twiggy. She's
is
here,
Twig
so
there or not?
Tweet, tweet. Yeah, so
We
that
better
I mean,
introduce her as
having a
well.
dog.
She can't go unintroduced. Yeah.
There she is, the famous
So
charging dog. So I always pose her in the plug share photos.
yeah,
Yeah, that's always do plug share. That's what you need to do. And then yeah, when I quite often I do like live posting when I'm doing my road trips. At the end of the day, I
yeah,
post either to YouTube or to the social media, Facebook, whatever. Anyway, always put lots of twig photos in there, and she's the most popular one I think of all of it. But yeah, challenges. I mean, yeah, I guess with me particularly, it's having the dog and sleeping in. See, if you're going to do it, you have to kind of be willing to camp.
yeah,
If you're going to do the lap, you have to be willing to camp or at least stay in caravan parks to make it happen. So, but regular trips, you know, between Adelaide and Brisbane, or even Adelaide to
yeah,
Perth or whatever, you know, there's motels along the way you can stay at and things like that. So, uh, the old adage, always be charging. So it
yeah.
saves a lot of time and money to be charging at night. So uh, that's one of the tricks of doing it if you can. So,
And that's right. Had you done sort of those sort of trips in petrol cars before, or this is something just that you decided to come up
oh,
with as a challenge for an
well,
EV?
no, I mean, certainly when I had a petrol car, I didn't get in the car and say, right, I'm just going to drive it for fun. I only drove it to go places that I was doing. Now more I'm just like, I'll just get in the car and go for a long drive, like literally across the country.
Yeah.
But no, I've done road trips. I've done road trips across America. That was good.
Mm. Okay. Cool.
And yeah, but no, certainly the EV, I think, adds a whole, I mean, it's so nice, and it makes it driving a pleasure, really. And plus, it's also you can do it conscious without anything on your conscious because it's all clean energy, especially in South Australia. Even the grid's green these days. So if you're charging
No,
on the road, yeah.
it's a much nicer feeling, isn't it? And just driving a Polestar too. I mean, have you had much experience in other EVs, well, apart from the new one, which we'll get to compare the Polestar to, or just outright? What are your general impressions on the highway and around about?
Oh, it's an amazing car to drive. Like, so I've only ever owned Utes, like a
Yeah.
Hilux, an Amarok, a Triton. Sorry, Twiggy's barking there. Uh,
This is
but yeah,
live from
the
Kangaroo
Polestar
Island.
drives amazing. It's a real driver's car, and for a rear wheel drive car, it has 300 horsepower,
Yeah.
and it's perfectly balanced and everything like that. So yeah, I'm just, even finding with a new car, just with the Polestar is really a great driving car. I really do like it.
Let's go back to home in Kangaroo Island. For those who don't know where it is, they just have a look on, on Google. But tell us where it is and how you ended up there and what you love so much about it.
I came here for the job, so I'm the journalist for the Islander.
Mm.
I was in Port Lincoln, which is another town in South Australia. So Kangaroo Island's about as the crow, so like a 20-minute flight. So it's really close to Adelaide, but
Yeah,
because it's an island, to drive here it pretty much takes half a
yeah,
day. It's about 160 k's and a 45-minute ferry ride. Um, so I came here for the work, and I always knew. So when I was in Port Lincoln, I came here as like relieving editor, and I knew that I liked it, and so they headhunted me because they were having trouble finding someone who
Yeah.
lives here, who wanted to live here. It is there's only 4,500 people on the island, so we don't have any movies, or we don't have a lot of restaurants, or you can't just go out and go shopping or whatever, So it takes a particular kind of person to want to live here. But yeah, I've sold up on the mainland, which is why I can afford a Polestar and to switch them over. So I mean, yeah, living on Kangaroo Island is quite affordable actually. That at least when I moved here, the housing was a lot cheaper. But yeah, I really love it here. I like the fact that there's no people here. It's very relaxed. It's like going
Beautiful.
back to the 50s a little bit. You don't need to lock your house. That's changing a little bit, but yeah, it's still a very nice place to live.
That picture I've got up is a real picture. It's not an AI picture. That's the exceptional Kangaroo Island website. And the first question is, yeah, where is Kangaroo Island? So
Yeah.
I knew if of it, and I knew where of it. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people may have heard of it through the fires. Has that all recovered completely, or is it still some scarring? Yeah.
It's interesting. It bounced back really quickly, the bush, but there's still. So I did a lap of the island today, and the larger trees, they're still like skeletal. So that kind of reminds you of it.
Yeah.
But the actual bush bounced back pretty quickly. Like all the mallee started growing back. One of the big silver linings of it was it burnt through all the timber plantations. The timber plantations were here, the big monoculture, and they took up like literally almost a third of the island, or
Okay.
maybe a quarter of it. But anyway, they all burnt, and so they tearing them down and turning them back into farmland, which is what they were before. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of a complicated issue, but it would have meant that we would have had a big wood chip industry on the island, and big, huge
Yeah.
Panamax
Yeah.
coming and trucks running around. It didn't really kind of fit the ethos of it, but
No.
now we're getting a lot of big tourism developments and a new golf course and things like that. So,
So
but
yeah, back to the Polestar. So you did a lap around today. It's still hanging in there, and I know you loved it. And as I said at the
I,
outset, someone if someone could love a car, you've loved this one, right? So
yeah, definitely. Although today was in the new one, it was in the
yeah,
new one today.
okay.
But
So you
I've still been driving the Polestar around. It's because it hasn't gone to its new owner yet. But yeah, I do really love that car. It's funny. Having bought a new car that's like the latest, the best, all the rest of it. I just there's certain aspects to the things I really love about it is just the driving. It's solid.
yeah,
It makes you want to. It makes you want to race, basically, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but it just sticks to the road. It's only the rear wheel drive, 300 horsepower
yeah.
one. So,
I know, but
the other thing,
that's sharp, right? Yeah,
yeah, the other thing is the Android Automotive, so the
yeah,
software. So you've got Google Mapping inbuilt, and I've got YouTube Music, and so having that software system, I'm kind of missing already. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's an older car, right? It's one of the few ones that are still based on the well, it was originally based on
yeah,
a petrol Volvo. So,
yeah.
but they certainly nailed it, I think.
Yeah, look, it was ahead of its time, and I loved it too. I had a Tiguan, and so it just felt like going into another European car for me as well.
Mm.
You had an Amarok, and I just felt like it was more comfortable. We made this big step forward with Tesla, but yeah, I felt like it was a natural progression to another European-ish style car. And yeah, if anything now, perhaps on the used market, it's slightly more. Although it's got the Android Auto, the generation behind is still really attractive. It's not all just one screen and nothing else. It feels yeah like the old petrol car in some ways, but it just got the EV right. Mm,
Yeah, I think it'll make a good first, like a
yeah,
first EV owner vehicle, and also there's some good bargains out there. So you get a lot of car for your money, I think, in terms of the
yeah.
quality and the driving dynamics of it. Yeah,
So I've got to say, I was really surprised when you called me and said I'm going to sell the Polestar. What shall we do? And what happened at that? What happened at that time?
To some degree, I felt like like I just wanted something new, right? So, uh, also for my YouTube channel, like, and there's a lot of interest in the new car that I got. So,
Yeah, yeah,
one of the main things that drives me is like getting people into EVs, a bit like you, Roscoe.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I thought I could have a bit more impact with this new car because the Polestar
Nice.
is, we know, well known as nice a car as it is. It's certainly
Yeah,
not making headlines. But and also, I felt like, I mean, I did 60,000 Ks in it, right?
yeah,
So I just thought it'd be nice to have something new. I also wanted something that was a bit nicer for camping, that had camp
yeah.
mode, a bit more space. So, and then also just trying something new, and maybe I get caught up in the hype a bit, but it certainly isn't a limited car. We're not supposed to be talking about it yet. We're talking about the Polestar, but yeah,
No, no, no. There's the progression of we'll get to the new one. That's for sure. I certainly wanted to take advantage of this show and selling yours to talk about the Polestar too, because yeah, it is a fantastic car at
mm,
70, 80,000 Ks. It's got plenty of life left in it, and yeah, I think they're
yeah.
going to make great cars, great used cars
I mean, I
at that.
really like the look of it too. I still
Yeah,
look back at it and think, gee, that's
yeah,
a sexy looking car,
yeah.
Um, and yeah, great car.
I did too. Yeah, I still like it's that boxy look. Yeah, it's I liked it from day one as well. Just it was something different in style, but yeah, I've really liked it as well. So yeah, I got the call. What was it, about November, I think,
Yes.
and was it
Mhm. Yeah, it
September?
was towards the end of last year. So towards the end of last year, I think
Yeah,
October, I did my big
that's
trip
right.
to WA, and that was before I did when I did the lap of, because I did the lap in the year before, and my initial mission was to go where I was born in Newman. I
Mm,
didn't do that on the lap because I just thought I will just, once I got to Broome, I thought I'll just keep going and do the whole lap. But that kind of left the Newman mission unfinished, and so I did that in October. Also went up to Cooper Pedy.
yeah,
I was really trying to wear it out. So, and the trip to the Pilbara was 9,000 Ks, and the trip up to
yeah.
Cooper Pedy was, I think, 4 or 5,000.
That's a good back.
And so at that point, I thought I'd taken it everywhere. It's going to make someone else really happy.
Yeah,
I'd like to try something new. It was also, I got the base model without the sunroof,
yeah,
and things like that. So the new one has all the bells and whistles. Um,
yeah.
and
It was
yeah, so
interesting, yeah. And then I said, and you said, well, what do we do? And I said, yeah, I'd love to help you list it. And like everything, when this sort of process unfolds, with Amazing EV, we can do a little bit more and get the word out there. And I like to create nice video content to get it out on YouTube and put it on Facebook as well, because I think telling the story like we did, that was the video that we showed at the intro that we used as part of the sales campaign. We got all the photos of all your trips, and we wrote a nice story as part of the listing and got the word out there. And what happened after that? Yeah, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Amazing EV, we also put it on Facebook Marketplace as well. And then what happened after that?
yeah, so I was always going to be a bit of a challenge selling it on
Yeah,
Kangaroo Island because there's only 4,500 people here. There are actually more and more EVs. So I know when I last looked into it, there were 12. I'm sure that's probably almost doubled by now. But it was always going to be a challenge to sell it, and so I thought, just get the word out there, and you certainly
yeah,
helped with that. And then I got some interest from Adelaide people, and yeah, they were dead keen. A couple of them
yeah,
were going to come out, and I did lower the price, so that obviously
yeah.
helped. Uh,
Yeah, that's right. And we also, just as a we also explored consignment options as well, because Stan
yeah,
had
we,
to take
yeah, yeah, we did.
you
I mean, the trade-in price was pitiful.
Mm,
You were talking about Splend before. I know that with leasing, I didn't lease mine, but
yeah,
I've leased the new one. What was I going to say? A lot of them are coming on the market, Polestar 2, so
yeah,
that was coming up against that, and so the price for the trading was pretty pitiful.
yeah,
So it was always going to be try and private sale. The consignment one would have been good because then that would have been got a higher price than the trading, but then you got the commission to pay.
Yeah.
So definitely, private sale is, it can be a good option.
That's right.
It's a good
And we
option.
looked at the consignment option with a group in Adelaide called Coles Automotive, and that was primarily to get it off the island and get it amongst the market in Adelaide as well. And yeah, they've got their charges and they'll advertise and take a cut as well. Hopefully, better than wholesale overall net to you. But it's certainly an option we explored. We explored all options, and the final option was probably the most natural one in the end, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny one. So my ex-wife, who I'm still friends with, I'm not selling her a lemon, I'm selling her a great car, said to me earlier that she really was interested. And so I said, all right, well, I think I can get this for it, and if you want to match it. So after I'd gotten the interest from Adelaide, I told her, look, I've got this, I've had these offers, so do you want it? And she said yes, which meant that I had to call one person particularly who was the most keen and tell him, sorry, which I felt really bad for. But for me, it's great because it kind of stays in the family. I'll get to still see it.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe have an option to buy it back one day.
Exactly.
We're going to drive it over. So Poppy's never driven. She's brand new to EV. She wants to transition. So I'm going to drive her over. She's going to drive the Polestar. I'm going to drive my new car, and I'm going to show how to charge along the way and get her set up in it.
So, a brilliant result after all that. We explored all options through the marketplace, created a great campaign, got a lot of messages out there about the car and through your socials as well, and that certainly helped. And then, look, I think although we didn't get the buyer through AmazingEV, we set a price. We had a couple of people interested, didn't we? And that set the price, and she was comfortable with that once you knew the market price. So, can always try and do better, but not bad. I think at the end of the day, late 30s, I think you did it for in the end. Look, we'll get back to the big D word another time. But yeah, you're happy, and that meant you could move on to, what did you buy, Stan?
I just noticed that I did my name on the. It kind of gives it away with the.
I know. No. Did you buy a Zeekr? You bought a Zeekr X.
7X, yeah, 7X.
Yeah, no, it could have been the X. So
the X is the little one. 7X is the next one, and there's going to get the 7GT next. But so the 7X, that's what I have now.
Congratulations! So
yeah, very happy with it, and certainly a lot of interest around it. There's it's an amazing vehicle on the spec sheet. Amazing looking vehicle. It's kind of keeping it in the Polestar family, kind of in a way, because Zeekr's part of Geely. Scott there, the main salesman at Zeekr Adelaide, he's wearing a Polestar shirt, so he's been Polestar to Zeekr, and it'll get serviced by Volvo. So it is kind of keeping it in the family a little bit. There are like there's a few little things that, like the frameless mirrors are from the Polestar. It's designed in Sweden, so their design office is in Sweden. It's made kind of in the same factories as the Polestar and the Volvos in China. It's an amazing vehicle. I have less than 500 kilometers on it. So I drove it down from Adelaide a week ago, Wednesday. I've only had it a week. And then I haven't really been driving. Today was my first. I did a full lap of the western end of the island, which is 200 k's. It is the third biggest island in Australia.
I was going to say, how far is it around it? But
people come here and want to see it in a day. It makes it a bit hard because by the time you drive it's 150 k's across straight line. So. But yeah, I drove it today I drove it down from Adelaide, but it was nice driving it today because it's my home territory. I know the roads and everything, so I could do a really good comparison. And
check out, I was going to say, check out Stan's video, his full video. I've got a bit of it at the end here. You can watch it, but check it out on his channel.
So that video is me going to Adelaide to buy it. It was such a hot day. It was 44 degrees. And also just driving a new car off the lot straight onto a ferry is a pretty stressful, pretty stressful experience. I probably should have just stayed in Adelaide a bit, but it was that hot and I just wanted to get home and the dog was
Yeah.
in the kennel. So that video, I'll be doing lots more videos. So I've been taking footage all day today, and I plan to do like a whole series of videos, like what's it like to camping. So it has
Yeah.
camping mode. It has V2L, so I can blow up an air mattress,
Yeah. That's brilliant.
things like that. So I'll
Brilliant.
be doing a camping video, a comparison, Polestar comparison video, and then like today, just like my first lap around the island. So.
What
mm.
spec? What spec did you buy? Tell us a bit more about the car.
Uh, Basically, because I did get the poverty pack in the Polestar, I just said I'm getting everything. So it's the all wheel drive performance. I did order the fridge. Hasn't. I'm still waiting for that to.
Yeah.
They didn't have it ready, which is a bit annoying, but it'll be coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, it's the all wheel drive performance. So there's a long range rear wheel drive, and then there's a smaller battery one as well.
How big's that? How big's that battery you've got?
It's 100 kilowatt hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That'll give you.
it's listed for 543
I was going
WLTP,
to say, yeah,
which is
that'll give
pretty
you
good.
500 easy, for sure.
Yeah, the rear wheel drive's over 600 k's, but there's been some videos showing that actually they're pretty comparable
Yeah.
because the front motor just turns off when you're not driving. There's a bit of extra weight. So it does 0 to 103.8 seconds.
Yeah.
We have a big thing on the island called the KI Sprint, which is a quarter mile sprint. It's on every year, and it's all V8 Commodores and
I was going to
supercars.
say this is refuge.
And I'm amazed that they let people do it because it's just on the section of the road out by the airport, and there's like a burnout. They do a lot of them do burnouts before, and then so a good time for a quarter mile sprint. The winners usually do it between 11 and 12 seconds, and
Oh, you'll smash it.
so that's about what the Zeekr can do. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure if I'm encouraged to do it straight away, but I'm really
you'll
tempted.
smash it. Was there any other cars you even considered, or this was it?
So yeah, I was when I went and looked at the Zeekr, I did go and look at the Polestar 3 just one more time.
Yeah.
So
the big one, yeah, the three's the big one.
It's actually a Polestar 3 is not that much bigger than. Well, sorry, it's not any bigger than the Polestar 4. So the Polestar 4 is actually wider than the Polestar 3, but the Polestar 3 is a bit. It's more of an SUV than the Polestar 4 is more of a sportback.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the Polestar 3, I have a real soft spot for it. When Polestar found out I was leaving, they offered me a fully loaded Polestar 3, like 22-inch wheels, like the Napa leather, but it had 5,000 Ks on it. And I just, again, like I had my heart set on the Zeekr and something new, but I could very well end up back in a Polestar, either a Polestar 2 or a 3, so those certainly were I don't think I've really considered anything else really. I do think maybe my next EV might be a van though.
Yeah.
Because having an EV camper van, I think that would be neat. Like again, there's the Horizon, which is a Geely product.
Yeah.
Kia's coming out with a PV5. The Buzz has been around, but it doesn't really have very good range. So as the range improves with the vans, I think that would be a serious. Once I get the Hoon out of me, I'll be.
I didn't know you had the Hoon in you, right? So
I've had great fun driving that Polestar around the country. Some of them, like the mountain passes going down, like the Clyde, and there was the Clyde Pass, and then there was another one up near Grafton. There was just amazing roads to drive on, and then just cruising across the Nullarbor. I think everyone should cross the Nullarbor in an EV at least once in their life. It's a great experience.
I'm not going to ask you how fast you got it up to. Maybe Twig can bark it out in Morse code or something like that. I'm not going to ask you how fast.
I will say, and I'm knocking on wood here, I've never gotten a speeding ticket in any ticket. I did. My funniest story was, you asked me about a challenge. I did get pulled over by the police in Norseman after crossing the Nullarbor, because I didn't pay for a charging. So at Cocklebiddy, they have an old school. It was set up by the Tesla owners, I think, back in the day, and it was super busy. You get a key, and that's to activate it. And
Yeah.
so I did that, and then I brought the key back, and there was a new guy there, and he didn't know. He goes, "I don't know," and I said, "I don't know," and I was like
Yeah.
rushing because the sun was about to set, and I had to get across the thing. So I said, "Look, I'm just going to go," and so I went merrily on my way. And then the next day, I'm pulling into the next town, a Norseman, and this cop is waiting on the side of the road. He flips around, pulls me over, and I'm going, I wasn't speeding, officer. And he goes, yeah, it's not about speeding, but you haven't paid for a charging back in Cocklebiddy, so you've been
So,
reported. And they've got these cameras everywhere around Australia. So they were tracking me. They knew exactly where I was. And so after the cop let me go, I immediately called the roadhouse, and we had a big laugh. And then he said, make sure to come in on your way back. So on the way back, I stopped in. I didn't stay or have a beer, but we had a big laugh and a chat. So it all worked out in the end. But that was one of the amusing stories to have happened on my trips.
and yeah, and does Twiggy like the new car, you think?
She does like the new car. I've got a new hammock. I put like a hammock in the back.
Yeah.
Well, she's try and keep all the dust and the hair contained. But she I think she likes a bit more space in there. So
Yeah. I was going to ask you about, so it's lie flat, you get a better mattress, bigger mattress in there? Mm.
yeah. So with the Polestar, the roof was always a bit low.
Yeah.
I'm not the tallest person, so I did kind of fit in there reasonably. But this car's got a lot more space. Big thing is camp mode. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but it's pretty much impossible to sleep in a car
Yeah.
in hot places without camp mode because you just get
Yeah.
so hot in there. So camp mode is leaving the air conditioner on all night, basically.
So
Uh,
it just trickles away. Does it have
yeah,
much of
yeah.
it? Is it like a percent an hour, or is it with that? Yeah.
No, well, I mean, obviously it depends how hot or cold it is, but
Yeah.
from reports that people have done it, I think it only drains maybe like between around five. I mean, it can be higher or lower. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Absolutely fantastic.
usually when you're camping, a lot of times, unless you're stealth camping somewhere, you're plugged in at a caravan park on 3 amp of 15 amp. Sorry, so
Yeah.
getting about 3.5 kilowatts. So I mean, it would reduce the amount of charge that you take. But there's Twiggy there.
Yeah. So you plugged in camped plugged in at a campsite, and it's so you're charging anyway while you've got it in camp mode. So it's cool. So
Yeah. Definitely, if you're doing the
hey,
lap, you need to do that.
Stan, look, this has been fantastic. Like, congratulations on the new car. Thanks for being able to help you with the Polestar too. Like, it's been great
Yeah, no,
experience.
thank you. Like, I couldn't have done it without you, Roscoe, because, like I said, living on the island, and there
We're
were
there to
people
help.
in Adelaide, lining up to come over and get it. So, yes,
We hope to see. It's only 5 weeks till everything electric in Sydney again. Hopefully, you can get up again. Maybe time that with the swap over, maybe not. But look, if we don't see you there, please, welcome back on the show anytime. It's great. I can't wait to hear
yeah,
more about the life in the Zeekr 7X as well, day to day. So
yeah, definitely. I'm still wearing my Polestar cap here. It's still got red pole.
yeah, we're still,
Zeekr cap
here we
on it.
go. The
So
official
I got the Zeekr
transition.
cap on. See there? And I'm Zeekr Stan, not Polestar Stan. So I need to change my plug share name as well.
Thanks. Great to see you. We'll catch you soon. Thanks a lot.
All right, no worries. See you later.
Thanks, Stan. So that was Stan from Kangaroo Island. Loving the bits. Great experience. New car. Sold the used one. Fantastic. We are so thrilled about our help. That wraps us up for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to look at any comments or take any questions from Stan, but put any comments or questions down below and we'll catch you next week. We've got Sarah Aubrey joining us. You all know Sarah, and little birdie tells me that she might be in the market for a used EV. So we're going to consider a few options that she might be interested in at the moment. And as you know, she's just about driven everything. So she knows exactly what she wants. We'll see if we can find her a used car In the meantime, we'll go out and we'll leave you a bit of Stan's latest video on his delivery car. And don't forget, join us next week, 6:30 for EV Marketplace. I'm Roscoe, and good night.
Zeekr, let's go get the Zeekr.
Enjoy the flight. Thanks for flying with us this morning. Those of you leaving us in Adelaide, enjoy the rest of your day in Adelaide.
Here we are, look at that, the Zeekr. Amazing. Here she is. I haven't come up with a name yet. Maybe Krypton. And there's Scott. Hey Scott, how many Zeekrs have you processed now? The 42 came off the boat, is that right?
Yeah, 42, and we've done majority of them now. We've only got a handful left.
Right. And all the customers have been happy?
Yeah, everyone's happy so far.
And do the mix of colours, mostly green here as well?
Yeah, green's our highest seller, and then followed
by grey.
By the tech grey, and then we've had mostly just the whites come up recently towards the end.
Right, interesting. So yeah, blue. That's good that it's not the most common one. So I'm happy with that. And here's another white one, ready to go. And they put all the Alfa Romeos to the back, the ICE cars to the back. Very nice. Well, thank you, Scott.
That's all right.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Congratulations.
Thank you. Come to Kangaroo Island and see the Zeekr rushing around the island. We've gone through all the... Scott walked me through the modes, and we set the seats everywhere. Did that right, and then Steph talked me through the dash cam, because we've got the black view dash cam. But check out the shininess. So many shininesses. So shiny, and that there's a the Zeekrs are coming here, so that's the X. Got a couple of 7Xs lined up there. This is the first X that I've seen here at the dealership. And here's a 009. Check it out, 009. Very fancy. Got the Zeekr flags up. Hey guys, thank you so much. It's been awesome. Pleasure. I'm so excited to have the Zeekr.
Congratulations. Have some fun with it.
And you walked me through all the settings and everything like that, and Steph did the dash cam, so we're all ready to go.
Yeah.
Looking magnificent in the sun.
First Zeekr on Kangaroo Island.
There you go, first Zeekr on Kangaroo Island. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
All right, a bit scary driving off. Very scary driving off. Closing the doors. There we go, she's all ready. Make sure I've got all my stuff. Oh, here we go, got a bit of a Zeekr present. A Zeekr present, see that? Little car. And another water bottle. Very cool. Right, Here we go. When they say when you drive off the lot, you drive off $20,000. So whatever it is, but this is what's going to happen here. We're going to drive it off. Very cool. Look, we've got the maps going. Turn the music down. Woohoo! Let's go. Zeekr time.